Hello everyone and welcome to our second market overview for the smart money concept with Ben and Roman. Today we're going to be going over what we did last week, looking at the dollar index, looking at some market caps, looking at the charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we're going to be adding a couple of new markets to our watch lists. So I want to say hi to everyone that's watching, or if you're watching on the replay, that's also fine. Then hi in the past. If you're in the chat, let us know you're here. We always love to chat with people. If you have questions about what Roman is explaining, please do not hesitate and ask it, because we're happy to answer them. Hi Roman, how are you doing again?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me just grab your chart with it as well. There we go. So we have you're streaming, you're live.
Okay.
The chart is yours.
Yeah. So last week, we discussed our expectation from the market, and something has changed because, like, the next day after we had the stream, a lot of things happened in the world, especially the war with Israel and Iran. So, yeah, it affected the outcome of the analysis, but it's not a problem because as a trader, we don't need to predict things. We just need to create a plan for both situation. If price goes up, then we have plan A. If price goes down, we'll have plan B.
Yeah, smart money concept is quite reactive, right? It's not a predictive one. You don't enter a position in the hope that it's going to go up. You react to a shift in the market.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what's changed. We have this dollar index chart. This is the monthly chart. And we can see that we just had this sweep of liquidity here. And also it fulfilled the fair value gap on monthly. So now we can expect the dollar to go up into the monthly fair value gap at least, maybe even higher. And what we need to know is that when dollar is going up, then crypto is usually going down. So during this move up, we can expect that crypto will go down. And as soon as it starts reversing, then we can expect some bullish moves from crypto.
Interesting. I just sold some dollars to euros. Should have waited a few months.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we can also look at this chart, the dollar euro. So this is what I expect from it.
3% move, 4% move. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot, but...
No, that's quite significant.
Yeah, so you can see we just took out this liquidity, and it makes sense to go down into monthly fair value gap. And after we get there, then I expect a huge expansion to the upside. So yeah.
What will Trump do to trigger that?
Oh, he'll come up with something. He's a smart guy.
He'll make a deal somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, on this chart, we can see that, yeah, I have the mark saying where we had the stream. It was here on Wednesday. And right the next day, we've got this liquidity sweep along with the fair value gap being fulfilled, which may be the reason for the market to reverse in the short term. And by the short term, I mean probably a month or 2 months. So we can see either some consolidation, maybe even another sweep of liquidity and then move up, or it can go up right away. We don't know yet. So we need to react to that. But what we can expect is for dollar to go up and crypto is probably going to go down. Okay, one thing that I didn't show you on the last stream is this another chart that can be found on TradingView. This is the CME chart. So that's the Bitcoin on the Chicago exchange. And the one interesting thing it has is that it has a lot of gaps because this exchange doesn't trade on weekends. And every time Bitcoin has a significant move on the weekend, then this price chart has the gaps that usually are being fulfilled.
Okay. Oh,
so
that's interesting.
it works very similar to fair value gaps, but these appear on the real exchanges, not the crypto exchanges.
Right.
And they seem to be pretty powerful. So you can see I've identified a couple of gaps here. We have the one around 96,000, 98, that hasn't been fulfilled. There was another one, but it is already fulfilled. So one more gap here around 91,000. So these would be the first targets that I would look for Bitcoin to go down to. So something like this, maybe before reversing, it would make sense to me. And we can just look what happened to these gaps historically. So you can see whenever there was the gap, price went back to retest it.
Right. So we're not only supposed to look at the gaps in the market from the futures exchanges, but also now from the Chicago exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just go back in time and see, like, it really works pretty well. So as soon as there is a gap, price usually returns to reclaim this level, rebalance this, and then trade continues. And yeah, like this example, so price went up and then just went down to refill this gap, and then it continued to expand.
Oh, there's a really low gap there. At 20,000.
Yeah. Yeah, there is just one gap that hasn't been fulfilled.
Oof.
Yeah, this one was fulfilled. And you can see it was exactly just fulfilled, and then price reversed.
Oof. Wouldn't that be nice to go in at 20 and then...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But yeah, we can find some closer targets probably.
Well, yeah, 78. No, that's already fulfilled. Yeah.
Yeah, most of these are fulfilled. But these are the closest ones. So we can just look at these, and it's already enough. Yeah, the only thing is that this level, it didn't touch
it yet.
So yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna retest this level. It seems pretty interesting. But this would be a long-term target, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can see that this chart also confirms our expectation that Bitcoin has to go down eventually. And we also had this on a weekly time frame, right? We had these fair value gaps, this one, and the one below. So it's pretty much aligned with the gaps on this exchange.
Yeah, so we could even see like an 85,000.
Yeah, I think it would be ideal. You really need to spread the panic on the market before it goes up again. So the lower it falls, the higher it will grow back. Okay, yeah, so I really recommend you checking out this CME chart.
And this is on the free TradingView one as well, right?
Yeah, you can only see it on TradingView. So this is the Chicago exchange. Okay, let's check the total market cap, because we were pretty bullish. It didn't work out as I expected.
Yeah.
But again, we can react to that, right? So we have this weekly fair value gap that still can be fulfilled. And we can see either something like this or even something like this. So we need to remember that the more panic we have on the market, the better bullish run will be.
So short
So
term,
the lower.
would you already say to look for some shorts on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I am looking for shorts already.
Yeah. I've also, like, in my not smart money concept trading, I've also sold a little bit of my long term Bitcoin position. Not everything, just a portion, just in case.
Yeah, but I mean, with everything that's going on in the world, you don't know what's going to happen. So it seems pretty bad.
Pushing everything into the dollar may not be a good idea either.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, every time that I had some rumors about the upcoming war, I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. I can just ignore that. And every time it happened. And I was like, damn, I had the rumors, I had the news. Like, why don't you just trust me? So, yeah. Okay, I think we can switch to Altrady now.
Nice.
Let's see what's going on the charts. So this is the Bitcoin chart. And yeah, these last 2 weeks, I don't know, this price action is just, it's killing me. Like, what is this? On the weekly time frame, it is so indecisive. Market doesn't know what to do, and you can explain why, again, with everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah, it is just very, like, insecure. Like, the news is not definitive. It's just, is it there? Is it not there? Yeah, it's difficult to predict anything. Like, it's not overly bullish and it's not overly bearish. So it's, just stays in the middle.
Yeah, I assume the market just is waiting for some kind of a big news that will move the market to either one or the other side. But yeah, let's see what happens since the last stream. So it was here, June 11th, when we had this fair value gap. And now you can see that it became the inverse fair value gap. And then it also provided some reaction from it already.
Yeah, so what was there a short entry?
I didn't have any entries, so we would look for daily. Yeah, the price didn't get to my entry, I think. I was looking for entry somewhere here in the inverse fair value gap. It didn't happen.
And the shift also didn't happen.
Yeah, there was this shift, but it was early in the morning, and I placed my orders just
is that the
a few hours later.
Is that candle?
No,
it's
yeah,
not.
it's not a shift. Yeah, the shift is higher.
Yeah,
right.
But also,
yeah, so I had my orders here after this candle close, but price didn't get back to this one. But this is the hourly chart. So because I prefer to trade daily and 1 hour at this point.
For Bitcoin, it seems to be a little bit easier to do because the moves are better in terms of risk reward ratio.
Yeah, but you can find some shorts even here, I assume.
Well,
just clean it up a little.
4 hour fair value gap that was just filled.
And this one.
Yeah.
And this one.
15 minutes. Yeah, entries there. Just now, basically.
It could be here.
That one. It's looking a little bit lower.
No, it doesn't really look good. I don't know. There was no significant low here before the move down, so I don't know.
No, but if you take it a little bit lower, so on the, let me just grab a pencil.
Here.
Yeah, that one. But then it's a very far away stop loss. Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far you want to go with it. But again, this will be the long-term trade for me. It will take like probably a week if nothing happens. So the more conservative one would be something like this.
Yeah.
But I would really expect to rebalance this fair value gap first. So this is where we can set our alerts. We can remove this one.
That would be a nicer one, actually.
Yeah, it's around the middle of this Fibonacci. Yeah, so this would be the good one if that happens. Okay. So yeah, like in general, it is pretty bearish at this point to me. With everything that we discussed before, with the dollar index. Yeah, these are the expectations. And let's see the Ethereum. And yeah, this price action again on weekly is just
horrendous. Those types of candles are just, yeah.
Like seriously, what is that?
It's great for grid block trading, I suppose, but
yeah, it is. But also what is good for is for education. So when you have situations like this, first of all, you have time because like you don't have too much action in the market and you have time to trade and to learn. But also if you really become a good trader in this condition, if you learn trading in this condition, then when you have great conditions, you'll be much better.
True, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's look what's going on here. Again, we've inversed the fair value gap here. And what we have? We have this weekly and monthly fair value gap below. So this would be the target to hit, I would say, in the short term with the Bitcoin drop and if the Ethereum drop. I cannot do this. Yeah, that's quite a big drop.
And Ethereum was doing so well.
Did it?
I mean, look at this move.
I mean, I still don't even have the all-time high.
No. We're still a long way from that, but at least, I mean, this move is significant.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's if you're just an investor in Ethereum, which I hold a little bit of Ethereum, but just to be safe.
Yeah, I used to hold some, but I don't know.
It's a little bit of schmuck insurance. You know.
I think like to me it looks that
if Ethereum goes to 10,000, then it's fine.
I think that the people who control the market, they probably just want us to start thinking that Ethereum is just dead. So then everyone loses hope, then it will just go to 10K, maybe 15K. That's what happened on Solana, right? As soon as it dropped after the FTX crash. Yeah, by the way, we can check the Solana as well.
Yeah, that's in the watch list as well. Can you look at the watch list? Like, what do we have in the watch list now? Link and dot. Polkadot.
Yeah, I had some things here as well. So I added these charts. So it's Ethereum Bitcoin. And it's basically, you can use it as an index chart, just seeing how Bitcoin is doing against the altcoins in general. So you can see that for a long time, it was just going down because domination of the Bitcoin was rising extremely and Ethereum was standing in one place. But yeah, if we have some kind of a signs of the reversal, like it won't go really high, so we won't see these numbers, I believe, never.
Not for
But
Ethereum.
as soon as you see
no.
some, as soon as you see some action, some positive movement on this chart, then you can start looking for altcoin investment and for some altcoin market run, or some alt season. Yeah, and another chart I have here is for Solana versus Ethereum. And yeah, I didn't check it before, but it looks like Solana ecosystem is just dropping significantly, which I didn't expect to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's also because of those meme coins that are very popular on Solana. So
yeah, maybe they're losing a little bit of steam on.
They're just draining the market.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can just check the Solana chart.
So this is a new market that we're adding.
Yeah,
I don't see any.
Yeah, I think this is a good one
on them yet. So we have to start at the monthly time frame to start to do our analysis.
Yeah. So here, obviously, we had that huge period after the FTX crash when everyone was in disbelief.
That was a terrible period.
Yeah. I think I sold some around these area, and I like, okay, I'm not gonna buy any Solana, and then you see this.
I think I bought some here as well.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Not large stacks, just again schmuck insurance. Like it's gonna be so low. Just buy a few $100s more, and then maybe we'll be smiling, and we are smiling.
Yeah, the same with Luna, right? You bought some Luna after the crash.
Yeah.
Back in that time, I was like, okay, it crashed, then forget about this project.
If Luna Classic goes to $1 again, I would have so much money. It will never happen.
Yeah, so let's see what's going on there. We have this monthly fair value gap that is very unlikely to be fulfilled. So I think that this move down was the last move down in this cycle, at least. Maybe we'll have another like resweep at this level. It's like either this and then move up, or we can just retest this rejection block to have anything.
Nope.
Okay. Big blue.
Feel free to add them though. This is our joint account now.
So yeah, something that I see on the Solana. So there are two possible outcomes, something like this. So maybe I will even start DCAing around these areas on spot, but also I will look for the longs on futures as soon as we reach this rejection block. And it has been swept. And new all-time high could be a nice target. But again, like looking at this Solana Ethereum chart, I'm not sure if we're going to see this new all-time high. So yeah, it's something to keep in mind.
Do fair value gaps have any significant value in this market?
Yeah, I mean, they work pretty much everywhere. Which is weird. Like, I didn't believe that at first, but then I noticed that they pretty much work pretty well.
I mean, like when you see this, it just blows through it. And here, just blows through it. Here, blows through it. Like,
Yeah, these are probably the moves that happened with some, I don't know, some news or something. Just like huge influx of money into the ecosystem. But usually, like if you look at smaller moves, then fair value gaps work pretty well. Like they can be a good target.
Yeah, this is a little bit on the higher time frame, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just to see like the overall picture of the altcoin market preference.
Right.
So we can see that Solana is dropping pretty hard since April.
Compared to Ethereum, yeah.
Yeah, and Ethereum didn't really perform that well except that one candle. I don't know if that was all the reason for this move. Okay, let's switch to weekly. So on weekly, we've had this market shift, which suggests us the possible bullish movement. So something, again, these two scenarios are pretty good at this moment. And the first target probably will be somewhere here, this weekly fair value gap.
And what about this liquidity?
Yeah, and this one too. Yeah, let's do the first one. So weekly liquidity. And this is just the all-time high. Yeah, like there's not too much to say about Solana at this point.
I mean, the structure is kind of, well, currently it's in between because it was bullish, but now it's like you already have the daily shift in. Short term is bearish, but long term, not really definitive yet.
Yeah, but that's what you need to do with the smart money, right? You just need to synchronize your timeframes. So if you have the weekly showing bullish signs, you just need to wait for daily to show the bullish signs. So we need to see the reversal in some kind. And then you can just long, and you'll have a bunch of fair value gaps on the way to enter the position. So we just need to wait for that moment. But until it reverses, you can look for the bearish targets. So there are a few bearish targets on daily that I would look for. So this one is definitely going to be taken out soon. This one might be taken out. Sometimes you can also check the 3-day chart to remove the noise. Like you can see this small fair value gap. This just adds a little more clarity. So this can be another target.
Yeah, so because the long terms are a little bit bearish now, the daily is also a little bit bearish still.
So I mean, like the weekly chart is bullish. Like in general, it is bullish.
Yeah,
right?
we had
So,
the weekly shift.
Yeah, you have the shift. You had this liquidity sweep, and then shift after that. So this is bullish already.
Yeah.
But yeah, the daily one is bearish, and you have these targets that make sense to reach before reversing.
Yeah, because for the weekly to become bearish, where would our target be? Would be that one, yeah.
Yeah, we need to close the candle below this one, which is pretty unlikely, I think.
Well, I mean, depends on what happens in the world, of course, but yeah. Okay. I'm starting to see it now.
Okay, so we can add another market.
Yeah, I saw
Which one do you want to pick?
link.
Oh, it's there. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not yet annotated, so.
Yeah, this one is interesting. It's not so easy to see the things as on the Solana chart. And so here we have monthly further gap fulfilled. And also these candles, I started paying attention to the candles. I always thought that it is such a primitive approach to market analysis, but turns out it works when you use it as confirmation for something. Yeah, so this is the obvious target for Link.
So Link, I would say also in a bullish structure as we had the shift here.
Yeah, we did have the shift, but we didn't take out this liquidity, which is very concerning to me.
I mean, yeah, well, you had you had the block, right? This one.
Yeah, but if we check, what's that? October, November 24. We check. Yeah, like this was the liquidity sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was taken out, but here it's still there.
Yeah, and there is more as well.
Yeah, there's more liquidity. Yeah, I think it can happen. So this one doesn't look too good at this moment, but I mean, it can be pretty bullish, except when on Solana, we can expect this move first. So this would be our plan A, because we've taken out this liquidity and we don't have any need to go down lower. So we would expect to just revisit this rejection block or this weekly order block and then continue going up. But then on Link, we can expect to take out this liquidity and then go up. Because this is not normal. I mean, it's just 20%, 21% here. And on Solana, you can see it's much further on Solana. So if we see like 20, I don't know, like 25% move down on Solana, then it will be, yeah, it will be just liquidity sweep here on Link. First, didn't I save it? The rejection block?
I think you did. Yeah, so we have the order block here, but yeah, I think that it will be taken out. At least this liquidity has to be taken out. I'm not sure about these two. It would be perfect if we take these out too. I mean, imagine what the entry you can get here on spot positions. Yeah. Yeah, the potential's big.
And as for the monthly target, there is not too much. These two would be the targets. Again, we have a good run and altcoins that can happen. So yeah, it's not that interesting. Let's just see what's going on daily chart.
Yeah. Liquidity was taken. You had your shift.
Yeah, so right after fulfilling monthly fair value gap, we had this daily shift, and then it was just bearish daily chart.
Some fair value gap filled here as well.
Here, then this one again.
Yeah. So we do have this one, but it was entered.
Yeah, so I had my entries link as well on this move, but again, it didn't reach my entry points. I was looking for the inverse fair value gap here.
Well, the shift is here. You would have had that probably, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it was like 1 hour to act.
Yes.
As soon as this candle closed.
Yes, but it was in the morning, so you don't have an excuse. You would have been up already.
I've been working on the designs. I can come up with excuses easily.
Probably need to set the alerts properly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so daily has clear targets. So this one is pretty obvious one. And then I assume that we'll go lower. Not sure about these two, but this one is pretty obvious to me. So link, we can buy a lot of link at 10.
Okay.
Not a financial advice, of course.
Famous last words.
But if you do, and if you win, then yeah, then you can
buy me a beer. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, these are my expectations from the link. Not too much to say about this one. So I think we have time to add a few more.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wants to have a chart done? If not, we'll pick. No, we're not going to do whiff. Oh, whiff. Oh, thank God. Thank God that happened. Sui. Prof wants Sui.
Okay. Yeah, next time we've
done this.
You have something. Yeah, that was during the backtesting, I guess.
Yeah, just remove all drawings, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monthly fair gap, then this sweep of monthly liquidity. So on monthly, you can use this as liquidity sweep, so you don't need it to be a swing point on the chart. So you can just take the lowest point of the candle, and this can be a valid sweep. And also probably on weekly. No, it wasn't that good on weekly. Okay, never mind.
We see a fulfill of the fair value gap on the monthly.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, there's not too much to see on monthly, so I'll switch to the weekly chart. Well, this weekly chart is just these candles. You can see these are very different from the Bitcoin candles and Ethereum candles. These are much better to work with.
Yeah,
they have some direction.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if this can be counted as the fair value gap. No, it wasn't. Okay. So here on weekly, we have this fair value gap that overlaps the monthly fair value gap. And also this liquidity.
Yeah, exactly.
Still here.
Be nice targets. Oof.
But this is too far.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think this is very unlikely to happen.
Well, not in the near future.
This, I wouldn't call it rejection block. Yeah, this is kind of an order block here. This might be the place where it will reverse. We can add some alerts here on weekly fair value gap fulfilled. We need to add this one. Again, not too much to look at on weekly. Oh yeah, on daily we have these nice fair value gaps here.
Yeah. Just see this one being taken, so there was maybe a short opportunity.
Yeah, it was. And yeah, I missed it as well. I had like so many orders placed as soon as that drop happened, but I didn't catch any shorts here.
Hello, Josephus. Welcome. Cryptonimo wants VeChain after this.
Okay. Yeah, daily keeps going down. We have the first possible area of the reversal is this daily fair value gap, but I would expect it to go lower into the weekly order block. And I think it is very unlikely that it will go any further because also Sui is pretty strong compared to other coins, and the ecosystem is much stronger and more popular in general. So I wouldn't expect it to go much lower than other coins, not the 40% down.
So if you
but
did,
who knows?
if you did take this trade, what would be the target?
I mean, on this time frame, yeah, you just look at the closest swing point. So this would be the trade, probably.
Oh, it would have already been there. Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah, and on daily, you had this
did you catch that, Prav?
fair value gap. This is like the maximum that you could get. But yeah, I'll be just looking for any signs of reversal.
I do see this one here. So there might be another opportunity.
Yeah, it might be. So if it gets there, then you can try to. And again, I'm looking at daily charts.
Maybe
because
set an alert for it.
I prefer to trade daily and 1 hour combinations. Fair value gap. Because I find that 4 hour plus 15 minutes is too fast for me. I miss everything there and then I get so disappointed.
True, yeah.
I mean, if we had some kind of a bot, then maybe.
I was wondering how long it would take you to get there.
Yeah, like all my trading journey is like, hey, can we get some kind of a bot that will do everything for me? And yeah, and still it didn't happen.
We've got a question from Soda. Recently, there was a brief discussion here about the use of AI. Has this been picked up anywhere? I find it remarkable how much reasonably well-founded information I get through Grok. We haven't done anything with it yet. We just toyed with it last week, but we don't have any real plans to include it anytime or not in the near future. Obviously, we keep our minds open, and if we find our backlog in need of new features, then using AI somehow is always on the back of our minds.
Yeah, I do test some things with AI. Like I allow it to review the market, like basically what I do here, and I build my expectation for this short term and intermediate term and long term. Then I also just upload the empty charts to AI, like monthly time frame, and weekly time frame, daily time frame. And I just ask it like, what do you expect here based on specific strategy? For example, if we're using smart money, which is comfortable for me, then I ask it like, based on the smart money, what do you think will happen here? And usually it provides pretty good responses, but it's not good enough to be like for us to just include it in the app right away, because it is usually providing a lot of bad things. So you need to be very...
You want to add Sui to the watch list as well?
Yeah, so you need to be very careful with, like, you cannot just follow it blindly. And that's what many users want to do. So until we have something that we can, I don't know, be confident in, that can be useful for others and not harm others, then we'll think about it.
Yeah, we definitely have some plans to include AI, but we need to have something else for it first, and it's it's a big feature, so it's taken a while. VeChain.
That's an interesting one as well.
That's a huge range.
Yeah. Oh, where do I start?
At the beginning. Mark your points of interest. That was filled. Yeah.
So yeah, these crazy moves. I didn't really follow this market. I don't know anything that caused these moves.
Nice sweep here. Get a nice fair value gap there. I mean, this was just a whole inverse fair value gap now.
Yeah. Yeah, but with this, like when it just goes up, down, and then up, down again, it's hard to rely on the inverse fair value gaps because it's too unpredictable. This sweep of liquidity seemed pretty good, but with what followed it, it doesn't seem too good to me now. So I think this point is very likely to be taken out soon. I don't know about these. Yeah, at least this one can be retested. But it's pretty bearish to me at this moment.
Hi, Dylan. No worries that you're late to the party. You can always watch it back.
Okay. On a weekly, what do I have? There was this shift as well as on the other markets.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the markets showed strength, but
this doesn't seem that it will hold up.
no. But yeah, it's a reactive thing, so we won't know until it happens.
Yeah, we just need to build the plan. So
in the meantime,
at least here we can expect that price will go down. Will be weekly. yeah, I think this is very likely to be taken out. Unless there is something fundamental that will stop it. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with this VeChain market. Weekly for a gap. This was monthly. Yeah, so here was this daily shift and that happened last week, and then it just went down. So it doesn't look very good at this moment. The potential fair value gap if candle closes like this.
Well, there was a nice
it can
entry.
be used. This one?
Yeah. Although, looking at that candle on the 1 hour, it might not be that great. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Question is, how far do we need to go?
Yeah, if you just go all the way there.
That's a monster trade. Don't need to go that quite that low.
There are like not too many targets even on day like this one, maybe the closest one.
Yeah. That's a decent trade.
Yeah, but what I think that might happen to many markets, including Bitcoin and everything else. So we have like another fair value gaps pretty much in every market. So before going all the way down, I think that we can have some kind of a retracement here with pretty good entry probably, and then down to the targets, which is what usually happens.
That is actually a quite interesting thing to say, which it didn't occur to me yet, because in the backtest we've only been looking at one market at a time. But now we're doing some cross references across the markets in our watch list, and as you say, we're spotting a pattern now where you have a lot of fair value gaps that are significantly higher than the first ones. So the first, you see a few with fair value gaps right here, and then another one that is there, which could indeed indicate that it will all move up a little bit and then go down. Interesting.
Yeah, and this is what is called inducement in smart money. We didn't cover it in the courses, but what does usually happen? So you have some kind of a move up like this, and then move down, and then this level is being taken out, forcing the traders to open longs, and then it goes down. So it can be something like this again. But that's just taking out liquidity from the market. So it always happens, and there is no reason to not do it again.
Yeah.
But this is basically the order flow. That this is how it moves. So you have the move down, then taking liquidity. This is the order flow. Like it always goes like this.
Or
always taking out liquidity on the way.
Or in reverse for
the
bullish moves.
Yeah, but at this point we need to be ready to short. So I know a lot of traders just don't have the mind ready for this. But you can just reverse the chart market if you want.
Who's looking for short in a bull market?
Right. You can do this.
Sometimes it helps. Actually, sometimes it helps. If your mind is always on longs and you prefer the bullish setup, then indeed just inverse the price and you'll feel right at home. You're like, oh, I see everything now. It can happen.
Yeah, just need to make sure that you don't confuse the buttons when you
when you place the trade. Draw your setup on the chart and then switch back and then make the trade. So maybe set up your short position drawing, and then do that.
Yeah, so I don't know, not too much to say on this chart. It doesn't seem pretty good. Like if we compare it to Sui is pretty strong. But again, it has this same fair value gap that can be taken out before going down. But overall, it doesn't need to go much lower below this swing low, like 37% down. That's crazy. But for this chart, it is pretty close to the swing low, 16%, and it will be most likely taken out.
Yeah. All right. So if we go over the watch lists now, what do we have in it? So we're slowly building it.
Yeah, we had it
did you already share it on Discord?
This one. No, we didn't share it.
Which one did we?
Well, we can share it, and I'll also share the screenshots from this stream.
And then we can continue the observation and discussions in Discord.
Yeah. And if you guys have any thoughts, any analysis, any ideas, just feel free to share on Discord.
Yeah. And I think on that note, we can start to wrap up this another great, insightful webinar. We've got some trade opportunities coming this week, maybe for the next week at least. We've got our alerts set up, so hopefully we're not asleep and we can catch them.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys in the audience do catch them while we're asleep, share. We would love to see it and at least see other people's profit from our analysis. Because that's ultimately why we're doing it, right? We're trying to create these analyses so that we can have a consensus, a group consensus on where the market is going. And that's always better than just a single mind. Use this as a confirmation for yourself. You don't necessarily need to follow all the markets that we're doing. You can add your own. But when you do have a market that you think, oh wow, this is a good one, this is treating me well, share the wealth. It's not that by sharing your market, your trade opportunities are going to go away. I don't think anyone in this chat or live stream or Altrady user is that rich that they're going to be moving the markets like that with a specific strategy, or that everyone that's going to be trading here is going to move the markets together. I don't think that's true. There's just too much volume in the markets for that to be an issue. Oh, nice divergence.
Yeah, so it seems like we're starting to see some kind of a bullish ideas here.
That would fit. That would fit this narrative well.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wait for the next week and see how it works out.
Tomorrow we will have another trading webinar, live trading with QuickScanner, again with Rafa. Kata's back from holiday, but he looked at the live streams and he was like, "Yeah, you guys are killing it with the QuickScanner trading, so go ahead, continue." So that's what we will do tomorrow. So on that note, I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on Discord. Thank you, Roman.
Thank you too. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.